Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about how to actually start selling on Amazon today. So today we're going to give you some super practical tips so you can actually get started selling on Amazon. So today I've got Paulina Mason, who actually requested this video from me. She said, I want some actionable tips that people can actually take today to start selling on Amazon. Paulina, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am here. So I have lots of people asking me, usually the beginners, they are stuck on the hump of product research and they cannot get over it. They're just researching, and it's been 6 months with some of them, and I'm asking, did you start? Well, I'm still thinking about it,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you could help, those types of people, and we could give value for that.
What I do see is that 99, no, I know I'm going to make this video. It's going to be an awesome video. There's going to be so much information in there. We're going to share my screen today as well. I'm going to be inside out my one of my dummy Amazon seller accounts. I'm going to go into product research, finding a supplier. We're going to go into getting that private label done. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain. And there's so much that's going to go into it. But what I do know is that 99% of people are not going to take action today. You'll have so many comments coming through where people are talking about, oh my God, he's just giving away all of this stuff. If I go and sell this product now, then how, everyone else is selling this product now. But what people don't actually know is 99% of people are not going to do this. They're not going to take the action. So I'm hoping that whoever's watching today is actually going to take some action and go ahead and start selling on Amazon, even if it's the smallest little bit, by getting a product research tool or just opening your Amazon seller account. So how does that sound, Paulina? Is that all right?
This is great. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Cool. So the first thing I want to do is just quickly explain what this business is. You've got Amazon FBA. You've also got private label. So the first thing private label essentially is, actually, let me share my screen. It would be easier to explain. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Cool. Okay. So private label is essentially this. You find a product that you want to sell on Amazon. So let's say it's swimming earplugs for adults. Now, what you will see is all of these products have their own brands. So you can see here upgraded silicone swimming earplugs. And if we click into these, you can see that it's branded by whatever this name is, S Goddy or God, whatever that actually is.
So is it actually a good product you are recommending to start with that?
In all honesty, I don't know at the moment. I'd have to do some research behind this, which we are going to show, to see whether this is the right product for us. Now, this is just something I thought off the top of my head, just to show you an example of what private label actually is. So you'll source your product from the manufacturer. You'll find these earplugs and you find the case. And then you'll design a box, and on the box you essentially put your label on there to show that this is your brand, and that is private label. You putting your brand on a product that you sourced from China. Some people call it white label as well. So that's private label. So if we go into what is Amazon FBA, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So essentially what that means is Amazon pick, packs, and delivers your product. So you find and get and source your product. You send it into Amazon's warehouse, whether that's in, no matter what country that's in these days. Usually I sell on Amazon USA, Amazon.com, because it has the most opportunity there, in my opinion. But I also sell in Europe as well. And you send your product into Amazon's warehouse, and they will pick, pack, deliver the product. Not only that, but they also do the refunds, do all the returns. They take care of the customer service for you as well. There will be a small element of you speaking to customers, but it's absolutely tiny in comparison to you sending the products to your house, you packaging it yourself, you picking out the right products to send out to the right customer and getting it there on time. You also become a prime seller because Amazon can now control how fast or slowly a customer gets their product and keeps them well informed on where it is and when it's actually going to arrive. So do you think that makes sense to everybody watching?
Definitely. I'm using FBA only because I'm too lazy to do it myself. Because imagine I'm getting 3 orders right now. I would run to the post office, feel like I'm all done, and then one more order comes in the evening. And there's like 10 minutes left until they close. Okay, I have to run again. My whole day wasted just on that. What about creating things? Being an entrepreneur, So totally FBA is the way to go if you want to hands off business and just think about creative part of everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm exactly the same as well. Like, I just didn't want to sit there, pick, pack, and deliver stuff. Plus, you can't grow your business massively if you're doing all of that stuff yourself. You're going to have to start to employ tons of people if you're actually going to grow it. And there's a lot of work involved in that, and complexities as well. So I've got my notes here, and I want to make sure that I go through all the details correctly, so whoever's watching this video can actually start their Amazon FBA private label business. And one of the first things that I did when I first started my business, and I would strongly recommend that whoever's watching this does this, is set a goal. So it's really important that you set a goal so you know where you're heading. If you think about it, when you actually jump into a car, you don't go driving around in circles wondering where the hell I should actually drive. The first thing you do is you know exactly where you're going so you can reach your destination, regardless of whether there's accidents on the way or your tire blows out or there's no traffic. You will get to your destination because you know where you're going. The same thing applies to when you're starting a business or an Amazon business for that matter. You need to know where you're going. So your goal should be in line with what you're trying to achieve. So let's say, for example, you might be a stay-at-home mom, or you might be wanting to quit your job. And what you need to identify is how much money is it going to take to make sure that you replace that income. So Paulina, for example, what would you say is a good figure to kind of start with in terms of profit to replace somebody's income in general?
I'd say $2,000. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, usually when you start a business, you want to minimize. You don't want to live like right away the luxury life. You want to take the bus and live in a cheap rental apartment, until you have extra money to reinvest in the inventory, reinvest in your business so that you grow so much faster. If you keep nothing for the growth of the business, that will be basically, slow painful growth for you then. So I would say 2,000 is probably what you would hope for to replace your income in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it just goes from there, and wait until Christmas comes. Then
Yeah.
you might just get 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, then 6,000, 8,000, 12,000 in November,
I think that's brilliant as well. I think the 2,000 is a great point to start, because if you can prove to yourself that you can make $2,000 a month in profit, then you should be able to make $4,000 in profit, right? And you don't even have to quit your job while you're doing this. You could do this on the side. And that's what I would strongly recommend, because it can get a little bit tough, but it is simple if you've got some straightforward set out rules to follow and you've got a goal set in mind. So $2,000 is perfect to start off with. And then I think for a long-term situation, when you're actually thinking about, all right, so where am I going to be in 2 years? What am I going to be earning in 5 years, 10 years? You definitely should be 10xing that. And as Grant Cardone says all over the internet, you should be 10xing that. So if you're thinking about $2,000 in 5 years, you should be really less than that. But let's just be pessimistic here. You should be looking at $20,000 in 5 years' time. $20,000 in profit a month in 5 years' time. Would you start this business, Paulina? Would you?
Oh, yes.
I know you have as well, anyway.
Actually, 20,000 depends how lucky you are. There's this luck that plays everything. That 20,000 could be gotten so much faster. I think I got it by the time 18 months kicked in, if we're talking about profit, but like after the PPC, after all the other expenses.
Yeah.
So it's not always that long, but you have to have a little bit of luck sometimes involved.
Definitely. And I want to make sure that everybody out there knows that the truth is you have to be like 1 in a million to make $20,000 in profit in your first 3-4 months or whatever, or 6 months even for that matter. That's 1 in a million chance. What we're trying to do here is show you how to start, get that $2,000 profit a month, and then build your business from there, because that will prove to you that this is something that you can actually do. But I know 99% of you won't do this, but the 1% who is willing to do this, continue watching this. I'm now going to jump into the next bit. So we've done the setting goals, and I'm going to go into setting up an Amazon Seller Central account. So let me go and share my screen again.
All right.
Can you see my screen, Paulina?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, cool. So what you need to do is you need to head over to sellercentral.amazon.com. So this is if you want to sell in the US. And all you would do is you would literally click here and click on register now, and then start to put your details in. Now, Amazon will ask for varying different details depending on where you live, your circumstance, what state you might be in, what country you might be in, what type of ID you have. It will all be dependent on you as an individual. So I'm not going to go through all of those little bits. I'm pretty sure you know how to fill out an application form. But the only thing you really need to understand is when you set up for a professional selling account, it's going to cost you $39.99 a month, plus some additional fees, which I will go through in a moment. But the only kind of upfront cost you've got there is $39.99. And the reason why I say sign up for the Amazon Seller Central account is because if you do all of the rest, you do all of your product research, and then you come to a point where, hang on a second, you're signing up for your Amazon Seller Central account, but there's a problem, or Amazon wants this proof or that proof, then you've got a bigger problem. And you've done all this work for no reason, and you don't even know if you can actually sell on Amazon. So for me, that's the wrong way around. Figure out if you can sell on Amazon, if you can get this Seller Central account, which most people will be able to. It's pretty simple to do. Once you've done that, you can move forward. So once you do sell up for a professional account, what I would strongly recommend is that when you go into your Amazon Seller Central account, now this is the dummy account that I have. When you get into your Amazon Seller Central account, make sure you head over to settings, because you don't want to be you don't want to be paying $40 a month when you're not even selling on Amazon yet. So what you want to do is you want to head over to settings. You want to head over to settings, and you want to change this part over here. It will say manage over here. And you want to change this to an individual account. So you will already have a professional account. You want to change this to an individual account so you don't start paying that $40 a month. What you will have done by this stage is you now understand that you can actually have a professional account, you have the correct IDs, and then you can upgrade when you're ready to sell, when you bought your product and it's on its way to Amazon Seller Central. So
just to mention that the professional account, why do you even need it? Well, because if you want to sell FBA, that's the only way you can do it. You have to have a professional account.
No,
if
not necessarily. Yeah, it's a really good question. So you don't have to have a professional account, which is $40 a month, to actually sell on Amazon. But I think if you're selling, I think the number is 40. If you sell more than 40 units a month.
That's how it is. Okay.
Is it 40? I can't remember. I think I need to check it here. But I think if you sell more than 40 units a month, it is cheaper to go and use the $40 a month plan. Because I think it actually costs $1 a unit or 99 cents a unit if you're selling on a personal account. So the professional accounts becomes more viable and cheaper for you if you're selling more than 40 units every single month. And we are going to be looking to sell at least 2, 3, 4, 5,000 units a month.
That's right.
So
actually, there's another thing. If you cannot, you connect any apps as well if you are on individual accounts. So if you want to start using the apps and you want to authorize them to pull your data automatically and do some kind of things later, you know, when you're advanced. So that's the point when you may want to upgrade as well.
That's a very good point. And you also can't advertise on Amazon if you're on a personal account. So you do need this fee-paying account to actually move ahead. So that's what you do. So we've set your goal now, and you've already set up your Amazon seller account. So if you come this far and you've already done this, then amazing. You've already beaten half of the people out there who won't have done this. So what's the next step? The next step is to find a profitable product. Now this, I cannot stress this enough. This is one of the most important parts of selling on Amazon. If you get this wrong, it's highly likely that your business is going to fail the first time round. I say first time round because we never quit. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. You might have some failures here and there, but if you follow some of these rules, it is highly likely that you won't fail. So what you will need is a product research tool. What does a product research tool do? So a product research tool like Jungle Scout, you could use Helium 10 if you want. You can use AMZ Scout. There's a number of different ones out there. I'm just going to use Jungle Scout for this specific example. What you really want to do, well, what Jungle Scout actually does is it scans the whole of Amazon.com based on the search criteria that you put in. So let's head over to the actual product database over here. So what it will do over here is, how do we get rid of this? Go away, there we go. You put in the minimum price, you put in how many minimum sales or revenue you want to see, and it will scan the whole of Amazon's database to try and find these products for you. So you don't have to sit here scrolling through all of this stuff thinking, oh, what should I sell today? How do I go about finding a product to sell on Amazon? Jungle Scout, Helium 10, AMZ Scout, all of these products will do this stuff for you. And I'm going to give you some rules that you're going to be using today to help you find some products. Now, Jungle Scout is a fee-paying, product. It's a monthly fee-paying product. There's loads of offers and stuff out there. If anybody does want that offer, Paulina, I will try and send it over to you. I do have discounts available for these products as well. So whichever anybody decides to go for, I'll provide that link for them as well. I think it's about 15 or 25% off, something like that. Anyway.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Here are the rules. Firstly, you want to understand what marketplace you want to sell in. So within Jungle Scout, you can actually select which country you want to do your product research in. I always go for United States. I found that that's where most of the opportunity is. And it doesn't actually matter which country you live in. As long as you've got past the point of you can set up an Amazon Seller Central account to sell in the US, after that, it doesn't really matter what country you're from, because you're now able to sell on Amazon Seller Central. So here are the categories. There's a number of different categories you can pick, and a lot of people will have a ton of rules, but just to keep it so simple, so anybody who's looking at this and is a beginner can start doing this, what I would pick is, let's say arts, craft, and sewing. So I won't pick appliances because appliances tend to be electrical products. Electrical products tend to have the highest return rate on Amazon. So I try and keep away from that for your first product. It can be quite difficult and technical. So I'm going to just go through and quickly select some of the ones that I would pick. So baby is pretty nice and simple. Books you want to do, camera again is electrical. So clothing, shoes, and jewelry is something I personally would stay away from. So I know...
but I'm actually selling in that one.
I know Paulina actually sells in that category.
Oh, don't start with that, definitely. There's huge competition, a lot of variations, a lot of sizes of the same item, and you get like overstock on one size and then you're paying storage fees. Don't do that one right away. So what about sports and outdoors as well?
So yeah, and that will come under sports and outdoor as well. So why? So you mentioned some of the reasons of why you wouldn't start off in clothing, but is that something that somebody could possibly expand to at a later date? Because I know some people are really passionate about that.
Oh, definitely, it is a good category. It's just that there are so many branded, brand names in those categories.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see a lot of brands or for any keyword that you are gonna target, if you see a lot of brands, it's gonna be a tough life, because people very often on those categories just search for brand names and it's hard to compete with that. Okay. So I'd recommend for your beginning of your private label journey, pick something that is not very heavily branded category.
So for anyone who doesn't know Amazon, Paulina is a Amazon seller, but she obviously sells within the, I'm going to say clothing category. And she does know how to sell on Amazon, but her niche skill set is within the clothing industry. Is that accurate?
That's exactly right. And some purses and accessories, but it's all within the apparel category.
Yeah. So What you want to do here is you want to pick some of these categories, and I've selected some of these categories. Feel free to copy the ones that I've actually selected. I've selected these because I know there's no electrical products, there's no clothing, there's no books, anything that could possibly break in shipping, anything that requires a high level of inspection when you're ordering from suppliers in China. All of that type of stuff I've taken into consideration when I've selected these categories. So if you want a quick and sure, fast way, just select the ones that I've selected. Nice and simple. So then you've got something over here called product tier. What product tier is about the size of the product. When we're shipping into Amazon, we kind of want to go for a relatively small product and not a large product. So we definitely don't want to go oversized. We want to make sure that we're finding a standard sized product. It will be cheaper for shipping, and it will be cheaper for storage when you're storing in Amazon's fulfillment center. Now, here are the filters that you want to keep an eye out for. So make sure you copy me whilst I'm doing this. Don't try and reinvent the wheel on this one. You can reinvent the wheel somewhere else when you're looking at the products, but not at this stage. So the filters I would use. So this is a pretty standard filter to use. I would start off with trying to look at anything that's $19.96 or 97 cents or $20. You can even go a little bit higher if you want. Then I would also put a maximum price of around $51.26. So I'm just putting something around the $50 mark, and you can play around with that if you wish. Now, the reason I put around the $20 mark for a minimum is to make sure that when we're looking at products, there's a decent amount of profit that we can actually take when we're selling on Amazon. And the reason why I put a maximum of around the $50 mark is so that when we're looking at products to buy from suppliers, it doesn't turn out to be too expensive. And I have noticed that when we're using the likes of Jungle Scout and Helium 10, and I don't put a maximum number in there, there are some sellers who are running out of stock and then put their price up to $999, which really messes up the results. So we don't want that. So this is the reason why we look at anything between $20 to around the $50 mark. Now, the next thing that I would look at is the minimum revenue. So revenue is how much income you take, how many sales you actually make in dollars when you're selling on Amazon. So the minimum I would look at is the $10,000 mark. And that, in line with the minimum selling price, would give us a decent amount of income coming in and a decent amount of profit. You know, hopefully if we get the product that we want for the price that we want from our suppliers. So you put a minimum of $10,000. You don't need to put a maximum because the sky's the limit here now. We want to just see everything that's out there in terms of revenue. Now, when it comes to reviews, I like to put a maximum of 100 reviews. So sometimes you want to narrow this down. You might want to change it to 50 reviews. The reason why we do that is so that if we found sellers who have 1,000 reviews, I've even seen sellers with 5,000 to almost 9,000 reviews. It means those sellers have been on Amazon for probably since the start of Amazon maybe, but they've been on there for 3, 5, 10 years, and it's going to be really tough for you to try and come in and compete with these people. So that's why we want a less competitive environment so you can come and enter the Amazon market and start competing at this level and make a minimum of $10,000 a month in revenue. So when it comes to minimum and maximum rating, this is something that I would play around with after I do this initial search. So I won't be putting this in now, but what I would do later on, this is just something for you to play with. What you can do is you can put a maximum of a 4-star review. The reason I say that is so you can find the problems that are happening with the products that these customers are buying. So let's say, for example, there's a product that's making $10,000 a month. It's selling for more than $20 per unit. It's got less than 100 reviews, but the review rating is less than 4. It means there's an issue with the product, but they're still making money, even though there's an issue with the product. You would go in and check out what that issue is, find out what customers are saying, improve the product, and then go and sell that specific product. It's that simple. And you are highly likely to make that $10,000 a month in revenue. But for now, we're going to keep that out. The minimum and maximum weight. So we want to put a maximum weight limit over here. You can put a range of anything between 3 and 5. I would say you can even go to 6. I'm just going to put 5 for this example. And this is measured in pounds. And this is so that when we ship our products over, it's actually a lot cheaper when we ship our products. And that's basically it. Those are the only things that you need. You need a minimum and maximum selling price. You need the minimum revenue that you want to take, maximum amount of reviews. Remember, you can put in maximum average rating or minimum average rating if you wish, and then put in a maximum amount of reviews. So, Pauline, I just want to make sure, does that make sense so far?
So every seller would have different strategies how they go about this, but when you're a beginner, you don't have a basis from where to pull those strategies, so it's a very good idea to just copy. That's just like Vic is showing you, just copy exactly, but keep in mind that's not like a hard and set rule, right?
Yeah.
Once you get the feeling what works, what doesn't, then you're gonna be so much smarter on that configuration yourself, and then you can adjust whatever you like. You know, maybe you will want to put, okay, I want to see 2 maximum sellers on the listing. That means I want to see only private label products, that kind of thing, you know. Or you will decide that the weight limit, now I figured out how the shipping works, now I can have more heavy items, you know. But start with the basics, and it's the easiest thing you can do is just copy exactly this. And you know, because all we care about today is getting your first product out there, you know, just getting you over that hump. And that's the idea, not to get you the biggest success from the first product. Is for you to learn the ropes and do it today, right now, with us together at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have a separate tab open and you're doing it yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just copy this. So just before, well, I'm going to hit the search button now. I do want to mention that I do have a free ebook. Pauline, I know you'll have the link as well. I do have a free ebook that shows you all of this information in a nice, you know, nice set out way in how to actually go about doing this. And I think I've also put the discount for this product in there as well. So if you do want that, find the link wherever it is on whatever site you're on, find the link, click on it, and you'll be able to go and get that ebook. So this is the search results. And what you will see here, I want you to help you to understand what you're seeing here. There's a total of results of 9,000 products. Now, that's a lot of products to try and go through. If you want to narrow it down, you can start changing some of the criteria over here. I'd start off with reducing this review down to 50. But let's just say, for this example, we're going to go through some of these products. So you've got a total of 9,000 products. So at least you know there's a ton of people with less than 100 reviews. They're very new sellers. They're making over $10,000 a month. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of these products. And I want to show you of what I would actually go ahead and select. And all I want, personally, as a beginner, I want something super simple that I can source and just sell on Amazon. That's all I want. That's all I want to do. Make it nice and easy. So just so you understand what you're seeing on this page, you've obviously got the image of the product. You've got what the product is called. You've got their code number, which is called the ASIN number on Amazon. The category, the brand, and the seller as well. So you've got the selling price. So that meets our criteria. Jungle Scout have also included the fees for selling this product, and they're usually pretty accurate as well, and which will tell you the net profit that they get. I would ignore this profit bit for now because there's other costs that Jungle Scout is not considering, and no other product research platform will consider at this stage because they don't know how much it costs to source this product. So you've got the weight here, which is 3.65 pounds. That's good. It's nice and light, so shipping will be cheap. You've also got your reviews here. You've got an average of 4.2 reviews out of the 12 reviews that are there. So there might be a small issue there that you can look into, see what customers are saying, and improve the product. This is the ranking of where they actually rank on Amazon. I would ignore that for now. Don't make it complicated for yourself. The only parts that I want to show you and want you to understand is that, look, the weight is here. This is the selling price of the product. Here's how many sales they make every single month. That's 2,787. This is the revenue they make, $139,322.
Wow. All right then.
I don't want to missell this thing because this person could have a different, a number of methods of getting that revenue. So I don't want to missell this thing and say, that could be you tomorrow. It's not going to be you tomorrow, but it could be you in a few years' time. So that's the reality of it. And I want to make sure that you fully understand that. But where I would say we actually kind of start to sit in is these numbers over here, 44,000, 176,000. I don't know. I kind of think that there's something else going on there when we're looking at numbers like that. So let me scroll down a little bit and try and find something that I think is worth actually looking at. So there's something over here that looks pretty simple. This is a USB warmer mouse pad. Now, I know I said no electronics, but the only electronics that would probably be involved in this is some sort of heating mechanism and a USB cable, basically. So if you are looking at something like this, then you would see that this person is selling 271 units a month. They've only got 17 reviews, but the average review rating is 3, which means that there is improvements to be made there. However, you would have to work pretty hard to try and make those improvements with your supplier. So again, I would say because it's an electronic device and that probably is really difficult to try and improve, I'd say stay away from that. So let's try and find something that you can actually sell. So what is this? This looks like 26 watt triple tube. Looks like some sort of bulbs. I'll stay away from that because that could break within shipping. I'm going to scroll down super fast. When you are doing this yourself, take your time, understand what is here in front of you. The only reason I can do it really quickly is because I've done this thousands of times over, thousands and thousands and thousands of times over. And it will take some time for you to start training your eye into what actually is good to sell on Amazon. And I want to show you that there is something here. So let me quickly scroll down and see what I can find. So this is something that I might look at. This is a T-bar cabinet pull. So it's a cabinet handle, basically. So you can see here they're selling it for $25, 100 reviews, and they're making $16,000 a month by making 669 sales. This is literally just a piece of metal with some screws. And you can get that. One, yeah. Yeah, and it's so simple. And you can get that from so many suppliers that it's going to be super easy for you to get that product. So what I would want to do is I would want to open this out and have a look at that later. Now, here's a big tip for anyone who's starting out. If you only open up one of these products and then you look at it and then you get so emotionally attached to this product because, oh my God, I found one product. Don't do that. Find 10 products and then look into those products and see which one or which 5 of them even is something that you might want to pursue, because they will drop off through the process of us doing what we're actually doing at the moment. So I don't want you to get super emotionally attached to just one. Find 10. In fact, if you really want to work hard and you really want to set this off in the right way, find 20 if you can. So, okay, let me quickly scroll down and see what else we can find. And then we'll move straight into analyzing that product pretty quickly.
So Vic, what are you looking for when you're skimming like this? Like, what do you do in your mind? How you disqualify some of them?
That's a good question. So anything that looks complicated to find. So like, for example, we've got this ink. Ink. I think this is ink for a printer, right? Yeah. So this is ink for a printer. Although the weight is low, you know, there's low average reviews and the revenue is pretty high. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, so I've got to find somebody who creates ink cartridges. What I do know from, and this also comes from experience, by the way, what I do know is that if I try to go and find this product and this product starts getting a low average review like this, I'm going to have a hard time trying to build this product back up and get it selling again. And I'm going to have to go back to my supplier and continue to improve this product with them. And then I'm starting to think, how am I actually going to test that this works? I can't actually go and get an inspection company, which is what I normally do, but get an inspection company to go in there, take a printer and check every single one of these, because then they're already being used, right? Because once you open this product, you can't put it back and sell it to a customer. So that's what I'm thinking when I see something like this. So
I noticed also that the seller is Amazon.com. I guess I would also not look at that just because you'll have to compete with Amazon themselves.
Good spot. That's a very good spot. So anything that's kind of Amazon.com, I would try and stay away from as well. They usually take the top spot if they come in and they decide to compete. But I've also seen that even when they are taking the top spot, it doesn't mean that they're doing the best. And it also doesn't mean that there isn't more revenue for the taking. Remember, if the first page shows, I don't know, $1 million in revenue on the first page of a search on Amazon.com, it means you're there to take a small portion of that revenue. So just remember that. Amazon's not always taking all of that revenue, and I don't think that will ever actually happen, because then all the sellers, which is 70%, by the way, most of Amazon's revenue comes from 70% of sellers, would get really annoyed, and it would really affect all of their businesses, and there'd be a massive uproar, and God knows what happens after that. But I'm looking for something simple, and you would probably understand why when I show you what I'm about to show you. So look at this. This is a folder. A folder is a piece of paper. This is a cardboard, essentially. And in my head, I'm already starting to think, okay, this is just a folder. There's no technical issues that could happen. It's something that can be reused over and over again. When people are finished with it, they'll probably order a new one. And I know that something like this is going to be really, really simple to source with minimal issues. That's kind of the big thing here, minimal issues. So to inspect this product, let's say, for example, I got somebody to go into a factory to check my products because I've ordered 1,000 of these. It'd be really easy for them to just check if they've been made to a good standard or not. And when the supplier sends me a sample, it's really easy for me to check whether it's a good standard or not. So that's why I'm already interested. And I haven't even seen the numbers yet. So they're selling this for just under $23. The shipping weight is 2.7 pounds, which is super cheap. They've got a 4.1 star rating, which means there is a little bit of room for improvement there. And with only 46 reviews, they are making $15,725. Now that is absolutely 100% realistic for a beginner. So anybody watching this, that is absolutely realistic. And as you can see here, there's a number of these products. This is the same seller selling different types of products. So they're selling a 1 divider, they're selling a 2 divider, and they're selling a dark blue 2 divider as well. And you can see they're making $13,000 there. They're making just under $20,000 there. So as
I can roughly estimate the profit right away. I'm a numbers girl, so you're probably gonna make about
go for
it's about $5-6 per item. So because they are grouping them 10, so basically when they sell 10 for $23, you'll make about, let's say, $5-6 in profit. So now if you take those sales, 574 sales, let's say roughly 500, so that's $3,000 profit just from this one product a month. So that's the estimate of what you could make.
Cool. So that's awesome. So let's say we're talking 3,000 on this one product. You now launch the second product, which is really easy for you to launch because you've already got your supplier, you know exactly what you want, you trust them, etc. Now you've got another, did you say $3,000?
Yeah, well, for this one, if we're just roughly thinking,
okay, so we're taking estimates. So you've got another $3,000 there, and let's say you've got another $3,000 to $4,000 on this dark blue one over here because it's making a little bit more.
It's always about 40% margin from the price. So you would, for private label. So that's how you could roughly look at it. Plus there's the fees. So just my eye is used to estimating.
By the way, so Paulina's a numbers girl because obviously she created shopkeeper.com. So that's, you know, that's where her forte and her skills actually lie. So
calculating the fees, right?
Yeah, running numbers in her head. I can do that a little bit, but I tell you something, I am not the best at it. I need a calculator. I just can't run these numbers in my head as fast as Paulina can. You don't need to be a numbers expert, just so you know. Because I know Paulina just demonstrated something really great there, but she should be able to demonstrate that because she's created shopkeeper.com. I'd be really worried if you weren't able to do that.
Right.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, let's open this out, for instance, and let's actually go into this. Let's go into the next stage of product research and how you would kind of analyze this product a little bit further. Now, I'm using this in the incognito window, so my actual pop-ups, the stuff that I want to use, my Chrome extension is not going to work. So let me quickly go into a normal page, and I'm hoping, let me unshare this and I'll share this back again. So give me 1 second to do this. Okay, so you should be able to see my face, right?
Yeah, I see your face now.
That lovely, beautiful face. Okay, let me see if I can get this running.
Sometimes I like to, when I'm choosing from Jungle Scat, I like to look how many number of sellers there is. So I like when there is only one seller. That usually indicates that the product is private label and it's not a big brand that is sold by many other sellers. So I really like putting a filter as well that is maximum 2 sellers on the listing. 2, because there is Amazon warehouse deals that are reselling that private label or disposed items. That's why I put 2. So basically that helps me to find those listings that are potentially good for private label.
So what's the dangers of somebody, like, if we find a listing that has like, I don't know, 10 sellers, what's the danger there? What does that actually mean?
If it's 10 sellers, means it's a hugely popular item. It's easily sourceable from Alibaba, from all the other sources. Basically, you will have more sellers keep coming on. Mostly when there's a lot of sellers, that means that there is a brand of some kind, that these sellers are either authorized, they're distributors, or they're just simply reselling other people's brands.
Yeah.
So I'm usually trying to avoid being a reseller when I'm wanting to create my own private label brand. So I'm looking for ideas.
Fair enough. Okay. So I've got this up and running. So can you see where it says on the top left, it says deliver to United Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody who's in any other country, if you're wanting to sell in the USA, make sure that you type in a zip code that is based in the US. Otherwise, what you're seeing here might not be 100% accurate. By the way, Amazon does tailor to different zip codes in the States, in the UK, across Europe as well. So it might be slightly different, but to get the best results, if you're selling in the US and you're not based in the US, make sure you put a US zip code. I use 90210 because of the program Beverly Hills 90210.
That's right. We are probably the same age. That's why I know it very well.
So I don't know if anyone is watching this. There was an old Beverly Hills 90210 and there was a new one as well. So that's the only reason why I know that zip code, and it's the only one that I can think of. So what you want to do is you've got this product over here, and we want to try and get a broad keyword term. Now, don't get confused by what I just said. All we're trying to do is try and find the words that people are searching to find this product. That's it. So let's say, for example, you could go with, what do you think we should go with? Should we go with folders or classification folders?
Oh, I am not so good, but there's a one divider in between only. Okay, so because there's so many folders, if you just put in folders, that will be not long tail enough. I mean,
Okay.
you'd want something more specific, I guess.
Okay, let's try classification folders. You're not going to get this on the first time round, by the way. So
right. Because there's the medical, I like the ones, the medical files, law client files, like office report.
Yeah.
I like those additional ones. I always target your users like that.
Yeah, and this is the thing. What this seller is actually doing is they're targeting these words, what people are actually searching for. They're searching for classification folders. They're searching for Tyvek expansions. I don't even know what that means. Durable two-pronged design. They're searching for organized standard medical files. They're searching for law client files. They're searching for office reports. They're searching for maybe letter size reports. There's a number of different things that people could be searching for that this person has put into the title to make sure that this is found. Let's start off with classification folders. And you want to make sure that you select all departments, go with classification folders. So as you can see, this is the right search term because most of these products out here that we're seeing are really similar. And yeah, we could see this is the product that I think we were looking at. I don't know. Anyway, so what we want to do here is we want to make sure that there is money being made on this page, and it isn't just that one person making all of that money. So what we would do is we would use a Chrome extension. I'm going to use the Jungle Scout Chrome extension on this one just to keep it all in sync. So now Jungle Scout is basically analyzing this page. It's checking the price of the products. It's going to check how many sales every single person makes on this page. It's going to break it down to its daily sales. It's going to break it down to how much monthly revenue, which is one of the important parts we are looking at and we're going to continue looking at. And it's also going to show us the reviews and ratings and other pieces of information. Now, I don't want to confuse you with all of this information on here because you will learn all of this as you go on. But the main parts that you actually need to know to be profitable selling on Amazon is the monthly revenue. You want to possibly look at the monthly sales, the price, and the reviews, and the average rating. That's what
I just quickly be excited right away because I see in the corner, high demand with low competition. You know, I'm like excited right away.
There's money here. There's money here. Oh
right.
God, there is money here. So what I want to show you first straight away is how much money there actually is on this page per seller. So as you can see, this person's making, and I'm going to go through this quick. This person's making $20,000 a month. You've got $15,000 a month. You've got $25,000 a month. You've got $62,000 a month. Then you also have a few, well, you've got Amazon Basics here that's not making any money. So that's probably a very, very new product. You've got somebody here making $12,000 a month, $14,000, $11,000, $5,000, $9,000, $13,000, and it keeps on going. It will drop slowly. As you can see, this is exactly what I want to see. It will drop slowly as you go down the page. There will be a few outliers that will be doing well. As you can see here, there's somebody further down the page doing still $5,000 a month. They've only got 6 reviews and they've got a low average rating as well. And they're still making $5,000 a month. This is what I like to see. I see opportunity, I see money. And when I'm going through these results over here, all of these results, I'm thinking, okay, so there's probably, even just in this first section here, there's probably, I'm going to estimate $150,000 just within the first 10 listings. Now think about it. If you could get your folder within the first 10 listings, that means you get a share of the $150,000. Now, let's take out, obviously, the person who's, well, the Amazon Basics ones who are brand new. But of the rest of them, let's see who's making the lowest amount out of the first 10. So we've got this one here, $11,000. So if you manage to land in the first 10, it's pretty safe to say, well, highly likely that you're going to make a minimum of $10,000 to $11,000 a month if you land within the first 10 listings. That's kind of where the goal is going to be set. You want to land within the first 10 listings. Ideally within your first 6 months to 1 year, that's where you want to head towards if you can get there. Now, just remember, this is not the only search that people look for. There's also tons of other searches that people look for and that you will make money from. Now, when I'm analyzing this page, all I want to see is that there are generally low reviews under the 100 mark. So anyone who sits outside, like the 333, you can see that there's a higher revenue because that is more trusted. The one thing I will point out on this page is there are a lot of Amazon, there's a lot of sales coming from Amazon themselves. But even so, there's still people here who are above the Amazon. There's still someone making 15,000, 20,000. There's a Universal company here making 12,000. Then you've got this SMED or whatever it's called, making just under $15,000. So what I want to help you to understand is that although there's Amazon selling on here, I wouldn't worry. This is just one of the products we're looking at as well. You would go through, remember the 10 or 20 products, and you'd find the best one that you want to sell on Amazon. So what I would do here is just make sure that the reviews are generally under the 100 mark. I'm not really worried about this 332 because the rest are generally under the 100 mark. Not worried about this 326 because everyone else is relatively new. Again, there's a small one there. That's fine. And then you got 144. So overall, I'm pretty happy. What are your thoughts so far, Paulina? Is there any questions or worries or
Yeah,
concerns?
well, I noticed that you are mostly looking at the revenue when you are skimming the data. I'm looking at daily sales. Like that's the nicest way for me to quickly see. Okay,
Okay.
20 sales. Okay, on top, everyone seems like to make 30, 20 sales, and at the
Yeah.
bottom, more like 5 to 10. So
Yeah.
I'm right away estimating, okay, I'll start right off the bat. I should expect 5 units a day at the minimum. And then, so that's how I quickly judge if I
Yeah.
can put my
Yeah.
feet in the door.
And that's one of the other ways that I look at analyzing it as well. But when you look at all of this stuff, you're always going to be looking at a couple of things. This is just the way I see it, and everyone will do it differently. And you might even find your own way of doing this. But try and follow what we are showing you here, because it will just make it so easy for you. The reason
Yeah.
why I look at revenue for me is because I know I'm always looking at price times monthly sales is going to give you the revenue. So instead of me looking at the price and the monthly sales, I just go straight to the revenue. When I want to dig a little bit further, that's when I might look at the breakdown of the price and the monthly sales. So let's do that right now, actually. So let's take, for example, this person over here who is ranked 19th on this page, not even within the first 10. The average rating is 3.5, which means there is an issue with this person's product, which can be fixed. You can see here they're making just under $8,000 a month. Now we're going to move over and go to the monthly sales. Okay, this person's making 330 sales a month, which is roughly 10 sales a day, which is really, really good. 10 sales a day is not bad at all. And they're also within the criteria of us wanting to sell above the $20 mark as well. So for me, that gives you that information right there, and is also telling me that, okay, this is going to make me a decent amount of money. And if I get it sourced at the right price, it's going to give me the right amount of profit. And if I manage to get this product ranked number 20 to 10, for instance, I should be making a decent amount of money. So that's why that's how I analyze this. So how do I go about finding this product? So let's move on to the next step. But Paulina, are you comfortable with what we're looking at here, or?
Yeah, so you basically, but what's the general idea? Because you were saying to open 10 or 20. So would you look all of those 10 or 20 like through this view of Jungle Scout
Yeah,
first?
absolutely. So I would go through all of those 10 and 20, and I would do this. Here's the quick breakdown of what we've actually just done. If there are way too many people with reviews over 100, I'm done. I'm moving on. I don't want to look at that product. That's kind of done for me. I'm going to move on to the next product and analyze that. I will look at the monthly revenue as well, and I'd be like, okay, is there a decent amount of money here for me to actually take some of this revenue? If all of these people from like 10 below were like within the 1,000 to 5,000 range, for instance, I would be worried. So for me, I'd be like, okay, but if I land between 10 and 20 on this search page, then I'm going to only make $1,000 in revenue a month. There's no profit in that. So I'm going to move on from that product and not look at that product. Now, if it meets the criteria, the reviews and the monthly revenue, and then we go a little bit deeper, if it meets those two criteria, I'll move into the price. Are these generally priced over $20? If they are, yes, I'm interested. I want to look further, and I want to find out how much it's actually going to cost for me to find the product. So that's what I would do. So that's how I would eliminate products that I don't want to look at, and that's how I would keep products that I do want to move forward with. Now, would you mind if I give a quick tip actually on how
Go ahead.
how you can be a little bit different from everybody else? So remember, we were analyzing this one here that made $8,000 a month. Let's open this up. Here's the tip. When you go into this, click on the 32 customer reviews that you have over here, and Amazon will take you to the reviews at some point. What you want to do is you want to see what people are complaining about. So I click on the 1-star review over here, and I want to understand what people are complaining about. So you can see here, if you quickly read, it says, first of all, these are not red, they're dull brown. That's a really easy fix for you. You can just make sure that the color is right. Secondly, they are extremely poor quality, shoddy workmanship, and it looks like cheap glue has been used. These are so easy to fix. So let's say, for example, the quality of the product is poor because it's a thin piece of paper. What you want to do is just, you work with your supplier and you ask for something thicker, and you get the sample sent to your house so you can check the difference in the quality. And it also says shoddy workmanship, looks like they use cheap glue. Find better glue and work with your supplier to get better glue. You might even want to change the glue to something else, like a clip or a staple or something that stays there forever, that doesn't, melt under heat or that type of pressure. And that's really, a nice, easy fix. So then let's look at the next one. Broke after putting in 30 pages. It was not able to store over 100 files or large, bulky files. Immediately fell apart after only 30 pages. When you get this, how do you deal with this issue? When you get a sample of this product, test the living daylights out of it. Test it to the max, because that's what customers do. I mean, isn't that what you do, Paulina? When you buy something from Amazon or anywhere, you don't really use it exactly how someone's told you, right?
That's true. Well, yeah, you are always, adapting to your own lifestyle. Maybe you are reading in the bathroom, in the bathtub, you just dip it, whatever. It's like all kinds of ways you can invent. But actually, it's very important to inspect it. And if you can't do it yourself, at least ask. I don't know, you could either send an inspection company to check it after you have already placed an order, to make sure that 100 files actually fit, those, whatever the pages number that they are expecting to fit. So I guess that's important after the fact. But before the fact is also when you're getting in person that sample, use it. Like, is a folder, is a classification folder. So use it to classify whatever you got, so use it a little bit to understand what the user may want. Or
people are going to pack this thing with as much stuff as they can, with the heavier stuff in there. They're going to start putting in stuff that you never even thought of. So stuff like, let's say VHS videos and DVDs are going to go in there. Old phones are going to be thrown in there. That's what you've got to be, testing out. If you've got a product that's, I don't know, let's say a disposable plate, for instance, you need to make sure that you put some water in it. You heat up the water, shove it in the microwave, put it in an oven. Make sure you test the crap out of this stuff. It's really important that you
I agree.
People are not going to use it exactly as you intended it. They're going to use it as they intended it. So it's really important to keep the customer in mind. And that's why we're looking at these reviews, because the customers are telling you exactly what's wrong with it and what they want, what they don't want, what they like, what they don't like. So just as we're looking at the 1-star reviews, it's really important that you also check out the 5-star, the 4-star, the 3-star, so you really understand your customer. So that's the tip that I wanted to give. So I'm going to move on to how we go about finding this product. So we're going to keep the search term classification folders. And we're going to head over to Alibaba.com. So I'm going to quickly switch screens. I'm not very good at this screen sharing thing, but I'm going to quickly switch over to Alibaba.com. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
So we're looking at classification folders. Here we go. So can you see Alibaba.com?
Yeah.
Cool. So you head over to Alibaba.com. Now, what is Alibaba.com? It's a place where you can find suppliers who are going to get you your product, and they're going to send it into Amazon for you, and you're going to make tons of money later down the line. So all you would do is, within this platform, you go to the search bar and you type in classification, if I can spell classification. Oh, look, it already comes up. So classification folders, and you hit the search button. Now, what this will bring up is all of the suppliers that are available to provide you with classification folders. Now, you might not have the exact correct search term. I don't think this actually went through. Let me type it in again.
We could try by the image search, I guess. Not so sure.
There we go.
There they are. Okay.
Yeah, I've used this enough to know that how to fix these little bits and bobs. So type in classification folders and hit the search button. So there's a couple of things that I do want you to do before you go ahead and before we actually inspect what's on this page. And I want you to click on Trade Assurance. Now, Trade Assurance provides a level of protection for you. So let's say the supplier doesn't deliver on time, or let's say the supplier messes up on the inspection and you require some sort of refund. Trade Assurance gives you that certain level of protection against that type of thing. So it's really important that you work with only suppliers who have a trade assurance with Alibaba. It will give you just that level of security and that level of protection. So let's move down a little bit and look at what we have here. So you can see there, look, there are tons of products over here that you can go into. There are tons of suppliers who will give you your product. So we are not, we are spoiled for choice basically on what we can do here. But quickly, just at a glance, what we're going to look at is how much these actually cost. 50 cents to $1. Now that
okay, I'm numbers girl.
Here we
It's
go,
my
look.
turn. So usually from my experience,
Yeah.
when they say 50 to $1, they more like mean $1 because they want to compete with the other guys on the listings.
Of course.
That's why they start with the lower. So I would expect $1 per piece, but because the listing we were looking at, I think it was 10 pack.
Yeah.
You could expect that your manufacturing cost will be $10 then for your 1 unit. And remember, the price was $23. So
Yeah.
plus there will be shipping, the Amazon fees, and ends up with the $5 profit in the end.
Yeah.
So don't look at it as like $1 price and then you sell it for 23. It's actually with different math in there as well.
So yeah, and I would go as far as to say is these aren't even guide prices. These are there to lure you in to get them, to get you to contact them. We're going to contact them anyway, regardless of what price they say, whether they're selling it for 1 cent or $50. We are going to get in contact with these people anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about that price, but it does give you some level of an idea of what it could be like. So I would definitely say don't run your calculations right now until you've actually got a real price from the supplier. And where it says over here, you need a minimum order, and some people refer to it as MOQ, which is the minimum order quantity. They put 5,000 pieces. That is never, ever the case with every single supplier that I have spoken to, and I kid you not, I have spoken to hundreds to possibly even thousands of suppliers. I contact everybody, and that is never, ever the case. And you can always negotiate down or up, whichever way, the minimum order and the price as well. So that's what we obviously want to do. So what you would do here is you would select the ones that are of interest to you. Now you can look into this here as well. You can go into this seller, let's call them a seller. And you can actually see what they're able to do. So they'll do the customized logo for you. They'll do the customized packaging for you. Even if they don't say that, they'll do it anyway. So don't worry about all of that. What I want you to do here is I want you to come in here just so you can start to get a feel and an understanding of the information that could be here, because the information here is something that you might not be aware of, you might not know, and it could really help you when you're actually looking for this product. So you've got something here called material. As you can see, 25 PT press board W14 craft dividers. I'll be honest, I have no clue what that means. I'd probably go and Google that, or I would just ask the supplier what that actually means and try and understand, what am I actually really looking for? You work with them to get some samples, and then different levels of samples as well, different thicknesses, different dividers, different colors, so you can figure out what you actually want to sell. Because when it's in your hands, you can really understand what you think is actually really good for your customers based on the feedback that you've seen on those reviews as well. So
you know what I noticed? It says packaging details 10 per poly bag. That means they are already used to making 10 pieces in one unit and putting them together in one poly bag. So someone has been ordering like that guy for the Amazon, and they are used to it.
Absolutely. And that gives you a really good indication that, they're pretty much ready to give you what you want. And if you wanted to do 20 per poly bag, that's probably something that you might be able to do when you're working with your supplier as well. So the only reason we went in here is just so you can understand more information about this product, and you can start to get to know this product a little bit better. So we've got
I wanted to say before you move on, I wanted to say that now, all these terms may be scary. Once you discover some product, like Vic said, I have no idea what this PT and something means, cross something.
Yeah.
But actually, like once you are in the niche and you release your first product, then you're so comfortable. You know what the press board and these craft dividers mean. And then the next one, you get more of these terms and things. And it becomes easier and easier and easier to launch continuously, additional products in the same market. So don't be scared in the beginning, it will just naturally come to you once you, learn the ropes slowly.
Yeah, it will definitely naturally come to you. And you're just, because you're interested in making money and you've got a strong reason of why you want to do it, because, I don't know, you're a stay-at-home mom, or you want to quit your job, or you hate your boss, or whatever it is, or you just want to live up to your potential, you will start to want to get to know all of these products, even though it's just a folder. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what we want to do here is we want to just essentially contact a number of these people. Now, even though you've got somebody like this here who doesn't look like they sell the product you want, we will still want to contact them, because they may sell the product but not advertising it, or they may know somebody else who can source that product for you. So you want to make sure that you start doing that type of networking as well. And the more people that you contact, the better you'll get at negotiating and speaking to suppliers, and the better that you will get at finding the product that you actually want and finding the supplier that you actually want to work with. So there's a number of products over here. You'll be contacting almost every single one of these people. And if we go right to the bottom, you'll see that there are several pages of these suppliers. Now, in order to get the best price and the best supplier, you will have to go and find, you will have to contact a lot of suppliers. And that's just another tip there. I've seen loads of people contact 5 suppliers and say, oh, I can't find a good price for this product, or I can't find a good supplier. It doesn't work like that. When you go shopping, when you first go shopping, let's say this is the first time you ever went shopping and you wanted a brand new wardrobe, for instance, you go into multiple shops to try and find what you're looking for, or you go into multiple online stores to try and find what you're looking for. And you might even order 5 different sizes of the same thing to try and find which one fits you best. It's the exact same process with that as what you should be doing here. You should be contacting as many people as possible to get the best supplier and the best price. That's biggest.
What I do too. I email a lot. Many of them, for example, half of them will not even respond. The other half, you will have communication issues. They will sort of fell off. And in the end, you will have 3 nice choices. So I would just, what I do is I just order from all 3 of them. The same thing, like the same folder. Just get a sample from each of the 3 and then compare, which the quality, then communication, all of these things come to mind. So it will naturally sort of select itself once you.
Yeah, exactly. It will just naturally, like, well, what's the word that I'm looking for? Suppliers will essentially fall off naturally, and you'll end up with the few that you actually need to and want to work with the good prices. So, so the next step you want to do is you want to start getting in contact. So you've got a contact supplier button here. You can actually contact suppliers by clicking this tab over here at the top, which is next to products. It says suppliers. And this is actually the method I would use, so you don't duplicate how many people you contact. So now, as you can see, there are 102 suppliers in comparison to the 10 pages that we had before. So this is like a time saver tip. So what you want to do here is you just want to get in contact with these suppliers. And I'm going to give you a quick example of what I would write. Now, I have a template that I use for all of my students, but this is something that I would write. So I would write, hi, and then you've also got a name here as well, or you could just use the company name as well if you wanted. But you want to make sure that you address them by this name. It's not a big deal, by the way. I know a lot of people will be thinking, oh, how do I address this person? I want to make sure I get it right. It doesn't matter. Make sure you get the information out there to the suppliers and you actually get this done, because that's what this video is about, getting stuff done and making sure that you don't sit there procrastinating.
Exactly.
Like I said, 99% of you will come to this stage and you'll be like, oh my God, but what am I meant to write here? What am I supposed to do? I'm going to make this stuff up right now. So, and you can copy this if you wish. It's entirely up to you, but this is what I would write. So I'd write, hi, Hangzhou Winning Trading Company. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. It's probably wrong. My name is Vic, and I represent, and I am the buying manager for, what are we looking at? So I'm the buying manager for, Office Supplies Limited. You don't need your name, by the way. You can make this up. It doesn't matter, because all they want to do is work with somebody and start building a relationship. That's really important to you contacting these people. So my name is Vic. I'm the buying manager for Office Suppliers Limited. We are currently working with a number of other suppliers for our paper products, and are interested in working with you to manufacture classification folders, and that's it. We'd like to build a long-term relationship to sell these on our website or Amazon, whatever you want to put there.
Wow, you're so polite and everything. I'm not that polite.
And then what you want to do is you might want to put in some information on what you're actually looking for. So you're looking for 10 times blue folders with 5 dividers. I don't know. By this time, you should know what you're actually looking for, and how many units you want. So you want to find out how much it actually costs. So how much does it cost to purchase? And then you could go with 100 units, 1,000 units, and see what they come up with there. Now, the reason I say 100 units,
that's a nice one. The guys who are watching, open your eyes to that one, because that's the key, getting lower MOQs.
Yeah, exactly. So they may come back with and say, no, they're not going to sell you 100 units. That's fine. They may say, oh, but we charge a higher price for 100 units. Just find out what that price actually is. That might not be the supplier you want to work with. But the people that come back with, they will reply to you and say, oh, we will supply it for $10 a unit for 100 units, but we'll supply 1,000 units for, I don't know, $8 a unit. Then at least you know where the negotiation space is now, right? You've got a starting point of where the negotiation space is. And if you've got this from 10 suppliers, you now have a really good idea of actually how much it's going to cost you and who you want to start working with.
That's right.
Don't put that in. That's the reply from the suppliers. So how much does it cost? And that's basically all you want to do. Many thanks, Vic. That's it. Now, there's a number of other things that you possibly want to put in there, but just so you start taking action now, do you know what? Just copy this and send it to suppliers and start getting some experience on talking to suppliers and getting some prices, and sending that information over. Now, what I have heard a lot of people do in the past is they would copy and paste this piece of information. So this specific page, what they do is they take this page and they give an example of the blue folder and they put that there. The reason I say to not do that and absolutely not do that is the supplier may click on the link, come over here and look at the price. Hang on a second. This thing is in the way. So they may look at the price on Amazon.com. I can't seem to get to the tab now. On Amazon.com. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, we see the contact supplier page.
Okay, cool. They may look at Amazon.com on this page and they'll say, oh, they're selling it for $20. So that means we can sell it to them for $10. And they'll just put the price up because they're seeing that they think that you're going to make more profit than you're actually going to make. So I would never, ever recommend putting that in there. What you can do is you can go over to Amazon.com and you can take this image, you can copy this image, and you can attach it over here. You can attach it over here to send to the supplier, so you know they know exactly what you're looking at. So there's no confusion into what product you're looking at. Enter your email address and then you send the inquiry. After you've done the first one, it's literally just a copy and paste job. Just make sure you change this name over here so you're not sending it to different suppliers with different names. Copy and paste this and send this image over. Send these emails over to them. And then you'll start getting responses coming into your Alibaba account. You can direct them to your email. You can direct them to a platform called WeChat, but I don't want to go into too much detail there. I want to keep this nice and simple for you. Yeah. So you'll get these prices. The next step is to actually private label your product. So let's say we are going with this product now. This is what we want to go for, and we want to find we want to create a label. Now, let's say your product name, well, your business name is called Office Suppliers. And by the way, you don't actually have to have a business set up to do this. I want to make that abundantly clear. You do not have to have a business set up to actually do this. You can do this off your own back from your own personal account. And I've done that before as well. And there is no issues and no problems in doing that.
Yeah, me too. That's how I started. I didn't really create a business in the beginning. Just filed everything later on personal income tax report. Yeah. It was fine.
And that's it. And that's where the 99% of people fall off.
Right. They're thinking about, okay, I have to go to a lawyer and open now what C Corp or LLC or whatever. Just don't do any of that. You know?
And oh my God, how do I deal with this taxes and that? And then just get the business started, make some money, and then start looking at that. When you actually start making $10,000 to $20,000 a month, that's when you start looking at it, because you've got some money. You can now invest a little bit of that money to getting all of the other bits sorted out. But if you're not making any money, why are you looking at trying to spend money and paying the tax man?
I mean, even in income tax report, that is personal individual report, there is a line other income, just put that in there and you're covered, for your soul.
Yes. By the way, we are not tax experts or qualified accountants. So make sure you go and check this with a qualified accountant. Okay, so all you want to do is you want to essentially, you don't have to have a logo. You can have a logo, but let's say you do put a logo, because it's always nice. You want to make this a little bit fun for you, because some parts can get a little bit tedious. So all we want to do is we want to head over to a place called Fiverr.com. It's really cheap to find somebody to make a logo for you, or a box design, or anything else for that matter. So let's say we head over to Fiverr.com and we want to do, I'm just giving this a go. Amazon logo. I don't know if anything will actually come up. Let's see. Okay, so all of these people over here will do product logo design. So look at this person over here. I will create an Amazon eBay store product logo in design. So this person will probably look at what's happened here? I can't get rid of it. Let's refresh the page. So this person over here will be able to do your logo design for you. And look how beautiful this looks. They'll be able to do logo designs on pretty much anything you want. And if it's just a logo you want, they'll do that for you as well. You just tell them exactly what you're looking for, and they will do that for you. And look how quick and easy I found this. You don't have to have any artistic skills or anything like that. You just literally come over here and you find...
No, don't pick this guy. He has everything about weed and the women.
But look how good this is, though. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, it sounds good. He's
Whoever
done
you
some
want.
other fishy stuff.
There's some dodgy stuff in there, yeah. But what I want to show you is that, look, it'll only cost you, okay, this is in pounds for me because I'm based in the UK, £21, 46 pence. So that's what, $25 or something like that? You don't even have to spend that much money. You can find people who would do it for a lot less. So look, we've got this will probably be around $10. And look at these designs. They're actually really, really nice. Look at these. They're pretty good, in my opinion. Look how nice these look, right? And
You
you
know,
go on.
I'm like looking like this because in the beginning when I started, I was actually spending money on logo.
Hmm.
And then I switched to decide that, okay, I don't want to spend because you know what happened to me? I ordered from Fiverr and I didn't like the designs that he sent me. So I ordered from another one and then one more. So in reality, I spent about $100 for the first logo that I created that I later replaced. So these days when I'm starting new brands, I am basically doing, can I just share my screen quickly? I'll show
Yeah,
you the free way.
yeah, yeah.
I use thefont.com
Oh,
and
wow.
basically I just put it into my search. So you just choose a category, whatever, like fancy various, and you will put in your office suppliers, you know, that kind of thing, like large size, and then you submit. And then you go and choose your logo, you know.
Wow.
Basically,
Oh my
I just
God.
copy that image, remove the background with the simple online remover background tool, and then I got the logo. So I made it free from paying anyone. And later, you still will want to go to Fiverr when you are actually investing a lot of money in packaging and things like that, right? So, but the first time you are sending something to Amazon, you know, probably I say save the money, you know, go with the free options. Just an
This
idea.
that's brilliant. I haven't seen that before. So that's awesome to see that.
It's up to your level of aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
If you really like pretty things and your brand requires something very pretty for the logo, if the packaging is a big part of your you know, item, so that is quite important, then spend some money. But if it's not, like
Yeah.
I'm selling dresses, so you know, in the dress inside there's a logo somewhere, so
Yeah.
it's not that important. But I guess on the folder, you know, if you're gonna have a nice packaging with the logo, then it is quite important.
Yeah. And so, in all honesty, the fact that we've just done that just shows you how simple it actually can be to find and get your logo made. Don't like. I think what Paulina is really saying here is don't spend your life trying to find a logo and getting the right logo and getting it done properly and all of that type of stuff. Don't spend your life trying to do all of this stuff. The
Yeah.
objective here, don't forget, is to get started, get going, get moving, and start selling on Amazon. So let's move away from the logo. You've got your logo now, whether it's a logo or it's just a nice, and a logo could be just a different font of whatever you call your store or your brand. It could be anything you want it to be. So it could be folders are us, and that's it. And you can just use the letter R and that's it in the middle. That's your brand done. What more do you need? And like you said,
Right.
Paulina, it's you can change your branding at any time. The objective is were you right? Can you get this product, sell it on Amazon, make a profit? And then once it starts to pick up and you're making a lot more money and you're a lot more sales, move into looking at the branding a little bit further. If you're going to expand as well, then you need to start to look at that a little bit further. If you want, you don't even have to, but that's where I would look at that. So what happens after you get your logo or your branding and you send it over to these suppliers and they're making your product? Let's say you've ordered samples as well and you like the samples and you want to move ahead. You've got the right price as well and you want to move ahead with this person. The first thing that you should really do is do a little bit of a profit analysis. I cannot stress enough how important that is before you make any order. You need to make sure that you're making a profit. There are a number of profit analysis tools that you could use. So Jungle Scout actually provide this tool as well. You can get it from AMZ Scout. You can get it from Helium 10 as well. let me show you the one that I actually like to use, which is the Helium 10 one. So I need to switch over to the screen. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go over to the other screen.
All right.
Here we go. Okay, so you can see the 10 red classification folders, right?
Yes, we
Yeah?
can see it.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So with Helium 10, I use their profitability calculator. Now, profitability calculators are generally free, so you can go over and get those. Don't know why mine's not working. Maybe I need to refresh this page.
Maybe on a different page, maybe on a review page, it's not working. Maybe it should be on the listing page.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Here we go. So I'm going to run this profitability calculator. Do not let this make you feel like it's super complicated. It's not as complex as you think, because most of the information is already filled out for you. So what this is going to do is this is going to take into consideration the size of the product, which we already know, the weight of the product, the shipping weight of the product, the size tier that it comes under within Amazon, the price. Now, this is something that you might want to change, because if, for example, you've made an improvement on this product over here, or you're selling 15, or you're selling 10 and an add-on, or there's a higher quality version, then you might be selling it for a slightly higher price. So I'm just going to go with $25.99. And pricing is a whole nother thing, by the way, which Paulina and I think we're setting something out to actually do something around pricing strategies. Estimated time in storage, that also is something that's very important, but don't let it sway you. Keep it simple for now, and let's leave it at 1 month. And the manufacturing cost. This is always going to be incorrect from Helium 10 pulling this information. I don't actually know where it's getting it from, but as you can see, it's put an estimated cost. So let's go back to Paulina.
Ours is $10 estimated. Yeah.
Let's go back to Paulina. She says it's $10 of manufacturing cost.
Yeah. And
now,
for estimated freight cost, I would use the kilograms, not the cubic meters. I would say $5 per kilogram. Let's just estimate like this. This is super, super rough estimate, but there are different ways you can estimate the cost of shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this information you will know once you've spoken to your supplier. So all of this information, once you've had the conversation with your supplier, you'll know all of this information then. So this could be lower, this could be higher, it could be a number of different things. So you'll know this information from your supplier. If you have an all-in-one cost, just put it in one box, for instance. But if you have this information, put it in. So now you can understand.
You can see all the red numbers right away, so don't be scared of that.
So you can see all the red numbers right away at the bottom. So, but I just want to quickly go through, look, you can see how much it costs to ship this stuff over. It's already estimated how much it's going to cost to ship it over. But you can see the storage fees. So this is per every unit, it costs 10 cents to store it per month. Within the seasons of October and December, which is a peak season for Amazon, the price goes up to 0.34 cents. And then you also got your selling fee and your referral fees. Now, you don't need to fully understand what that is. You need to know that it is there. That's why we run this profit calculation. So we've got everything red here at the bottom, which is not good.
There's a way to fix this, because the estimated freight cost that I gave you is usually for air freight if you want very, very quickly shipped, which most of the time you shouldn't do if you have time. So if you have time, you will be sending by sea, and by sea is going to be about $2 per kilo. Let's see if it changes anything for us. If you switch from 5 to 2, do we suddenly make money? Usually it is. And that's what normally fixes the things, to ship everything by sea, at least for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I ship everything by sea. I have never shipped anything by air because it is really fast, but it is so expensive, as you just saw there. There's a big difference in price. So I always do everything by sea. So like we can see here, the net profit between January and September is going to be $3.22. And between October and December per unit is going to be just under the $3 mark. And the margins here, you can see, are pretty low in my opinion.
pretty low in mine too. I would not really go for this product because this other cost option that you have over there, I would add 10% extra cost.
Yeah.
And that would involve, because some people will refund it, that will cost you. And you will may want to run a little bit of PPC in the beginning. There will be some fees that you don't know about yet.
Yeah, of
So
course.
basically, another 10% if you add to the cost, there, I think it will even reduce the margin. I'd want like a 40% margin in this calculator.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was going to say. So you do need, if you're looking at this, you do want to head for the 40% margin area. And now that we have this information, you can go back to suppliers and figure out what you actually want to buy the product for. So you've got this information over here. Let's say, look, your manufacturing costs are $10. If we drop that down, let's say we drop that down to 9, you'll see what happens. It starts to change. Let's say we drop it down to 6. Now we're being really ambitious here. And you can see this margin has changed to around the 27% mark, and your profit per unit is around $7, let's say. You can now, and if you were happy with that, and you knew how many units you were going to sell a month, if you're happy with this, then you can go back to your supplier and say, actually, I'm looking at it for this price. If you can't get it for this price, then I'm not going to move ahead with this product. That's why I said we need to make sure we have 10 to 20 products that we're looking at so we can move straight on to the next one and not sit here and try and figure out how we're going to try and get this product for a lower cost, or how might I actually go and sell this for $30 instead. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't mess with that price too much, the selling price. And I say that because you have no clue, no idea what people are willing to pay. No, you have no clue or idea that people are willing to pay $30 for this product. So I would not go and start changing.
You will not be competitive if you come to the market with like hugely different price and nothing to differentiate in the product. You would have to position as a luxury item or something like that, but you can't really just jump in the price because you want to. Like basically Amazon will not rank you, so will be pretty sad.
They won't rank you. People won't buy the product, and they'll find cheaper products and they'll go and buy those products instead. Price is a really huge factor that plays a massive role when you're selling on Amazon.com. I cannot stress that enough. So try as much as you would want to make this work. If it doesn't work in your favor already, then move on. Move on to the next thing. I've been there. I've been that person who has tried to increase the price and be like, but maybe customers are willing to pay a little bit more so I can make a little bit of profit. You're already thinking wrong. It's the wrong way to think. I was thinking wrong at that time, and I've made that mistake before. So I don't want you to go ahead and make that mistake. If this is not profitable, it's fine. There's millions of more products out there that you can go and check out. So like we saw on Jungle Scout, I think there was about 9,000 products to still go through. So there's a lot of products out there for you to look at and dig and dive into. So always check your profits. Check that, you're going to be making some money. And if not, move on to the next product. You will find a product where you will make money. It just takes a little bit of time. So don't be put off by this.
There is a way to make, I'm sorry to interrupt. There is a way to make this work. Like if I would be trying to get it, I guess you could think about more quantity. Now it's 10 units in one pack. You could think about selling 20 in one pack, and that will sort of reduce your FBA fee. It's not going to double up. So now FBA fee is $564, but when you add another 10 units, it's not going to jump exactly double. It will be just slightly more, and you can monetize on that FBA fee basically. So I'm just saying there are more complex, advanced ways around this, but when you're a beginner, if you see immediately that it doesn't make sense, just move on to an easier product. Because why this person is selling it here? Well, he still has a way. He probably is getting very cheap price because he's ordering like 5,000 units at a time, sending it all by ship, has good negotiated, good long-term relationship already with and he has good prices on everything. So he has optimized everything and he's doing good probably, just not the quality yet. 3.5 stars. But I mean, there are ways to make money from every item that you see on Amazon, but it's not a good beginner's item, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's say that this is profitable. I'm going to make it profitable. Watch this. Wow, we're making tons of money over here. Okay, cool. But it is realistic for stuff like this to happen. You just have to come across the right product. So let's say we found a profitable product we are going to sell these classification folders. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to create a listing on Amazon. So I'm going to go back to the other share page. So you should see my lovely face now.
Hey, it's lovely.
Let's go back here. And can you see?
Yeah, we can see it. The blue flow.
Amazon Seller Central?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is how simple it is. Don't make it complicated. All you need to do is create a listing. And there are a number of videos going into detail on how to do this. If you've got to this stage, awesome. You're doing better than most people. So
yeah.
all you want to do is you want to head over to catalog over here on the top left. Might be slightly different from depending on what country you're in, etc. All you want to do is just go to add products. Now, Amazon will allow you to search other products and list under other people's listings. You don't want to do that. You want to create a brand new product listing, which is that button that we just selected. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'll go back. So right over here, you want to select the create a new product listing. And then all you would do over here is you would just pick your product. So let's say we're doing the folder, stationery and office supplies. Let's go into office supplies, binders, filing products. Let's pick filing products. There we go. Look, folders.
Good.
That was easy. And let's go with file folders for now. And you basically just select that. So I haven't used this account. This is a dormant account. I haven't used this in a while. But what happens is you will go into a page like this. I'm going to have to stop sharing because all of my other products that I used to sell on this account are going to come up. So let me hide that for 2 seconds. Bear with me. First thing it's going to ask you for is the title. So you want to essentially put in the title, and you'll essentially start off with just 10 red classification folders to begin with. And you can look at other people's listings to start to understand how they're actually advertising their products and what words they're actually using. And that will start to help you build this. Now, there are a number of different other methods of building up what words you should actually be using in your title, what words you should be using, what you should be writing within your description, which is a whole nother video. And all you would do is you just input that information. You'd get some images. And by the way, images you can get from Fiverr.com as well. So you can go over to Fiverr.com and get somebody to create some images for you. And you don't even have to actually send your product. If you want, you can get your own product, take some pictures with your phone, and you can take pictures of it anyway, by the way, send it to somebody on Fiverr, and they will actually remove the whole background. So whatever was in the background, your coffee cup or anything else, they'll get rid of it for you. And then they'll start to make beautiful images like this for you. And they will even have this type of thing in here where they can input a hand as well. They're so good at photo editing that just send it over to them and they will be able to make these great images for you. So that's essentially the basics of creating a listing, is to put in the title, put in these bullet points over here, and get the images right. Now there's one smaller section over here at the bottom, if this person's done it yet, is a product description. Now it doesn't play a huge role, but it can play a role in converting the customer who's actually looking at your product. So it is worth looking at this and putting this information in here. So yeah, is there anything else that you think should be added to when you're creating a product listing?
No, I think in the beginning, so I do it like this when I launch new products. I create sort of like a skeleton listing right away. And while it's being manufactured or shipped, in that time when it says it's already boarded, like the ship is unloading, and then I go into my listing and then just create a description and whatever. Usually with the skeleton, listing with one image and a little bit of bullets and description, you can already create the labels, you can create the shipping plan, all of these other things you need to do with it, and have the barcodes, those FNQs, everything printed without you even having to worry. So sometimes people create a listing and they're like super stuck on the description and bullets because, it takes creative power and you have to like get yourself ready to the writing. I would say just put one sentence, whatever, or even reword the competitors once.
Yeah, I've done that.
I'm so sorry to say that, but I've done that.
Yeah.
So, and then just, get it ready. And then while it's shipping, then you can start optimizing and working on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So once you've created the product listing, let me just quickly recap what we've gone through so far. And then we've got another couple of sections and then we're done. And then that's how nice and simple and easy it is. So we came in, we now understand what private label is. I've got my notes here. We now understand what Amazon FBA is and how it actually works and how it could benefit you. We've set our goal as well. So we know what we're looking for in the next 6 months to 1 year. We know what we're looking for in the next 2 years or 5 years as well. We've set up the Amazon Seller Central account. We've done our product research and we've found some products. Remember, find 10 to 20 products if you can. Then we're looking for suppliers. Then we are going to be labeling our product as well. And Paulina, what was the website that you used to do the...
dafont.com.
Okay, so dafont.com to get your logo done, or you could go to fiverr.com and get all of that information done. Then you want to create your listings and make sure you have a really nice image and bullet points. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like Paulina said, at this stage, you just need to look at other people's listings and get it done so you can actually start selling on Amazon and get moving. So we've come to all of those stages. We've created the listing. Now, when the product is with the supplier, we want to get it sent over to Amazon Seller Central, Amazon's warehouse. You want to get it sent over to Amazon's warehouse, the Fulfillment by Amazon warehouse. And how do you go about doing that? You can actually contact your supplier and ask them to do it. In my personal opinion, and everything that I teach all of my students as well, I make sure that they don't get the supplier to do that because there's less control. The reason I say that is because if you're selling tons of products, let's say you're selling the classification folders. Let's say you're selling the classification folders, and let's say 10 to 20% of the inspection that you've just had actually fails. Now the supplier could actually just ship it out because you've given them all of the control of shipping the product. Whereas if you actually did this yourself, which is not complicated, it's as simple as buying car insurance. You have more control and you can obviously get them to remake your products. And if you're working with the right supplier, they will do that for you anyway. But I don't like to relinquish that level of control to anybody else. So I'm going to show you how you can go about getting that shipping sorted. So I don't know how many people know about this.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
So this is Freightos.com. This is essentially the price comparison site for shipping your product from China to USA or whatever country you might be selling in. And it's so simple. I'm going to show you now exactly how to do it. So you create a free account. So this is a free thing to do, just like a price comparison site. You set up your free account, you go into new search, and you click on this button over here on the right, which is click to ship to Amazon FBA. So already they're going to be that ship to Amazon FBA. They're already going to be looking at when the product actually arrives into the country. They're going to be booking in the slot for you to get it delivered to the fulfillment center, the warehouse. They'll do all of that stuff for you. You can sit back and generally just relax. So what you want to do is when you're first starting out, you're not going to be shipping a whole container's worth of product. When you're building, when you build and grow your business, you'll get to that stage. But what you want to start out is pallets or boxes or crates. let's start off with
So there's a
boxes.
numbers girl. Okay, this classification folders, I noticed in the description that he
Yeah.
says he packs 10 of them in one box, and 10 times 10 is 100 units. So basically he was doing that.
Okay.
And in terms of kilograms, how many kilograms do you think 100 folders would be?
I have no idea. Do you want me to hang on? Look, here's some information for you. Where do we? Oh yeah. So
On
we
the
find.
helium extension was pretty good too. Here. Okay, great. 2.7 pounds times 10. Now we know how much is in the box. So basically 27, 207. Oh, so wouldn't that
Yeah.
make? Because the thing is
So
that there is a limit. Amazon limits. You cannot send very, very heavy, like more than 50 pounds per box is not allowed.
yes.
So you cannot pack it very heavily. So basically, the idea is you will get this information from the suppliers themselves. Like I usually ask them what are the dimensions and the weight of the boxes, and they usually tell you how it's going
Yeah.
to be packed. I just make sure that it's not more than 50 pounds
Yeah.
or 25 kilograms
Yeah.
per box.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So let's say we have 2 boxes of 25 kilograms.
Let's use. So I'm going to use just like an guesstimate example. But like Paulina said, you'll get all of this information. By this stage, you'll have this stuff. You'll have all of this information.
All right.
So let's say in terms of boxes that you're shipping, I'm just going to go with 50 boxes.
Okay.
And let's say the box size is, they usually, I think they're around 50, 40, and 30, something along the size of that.
That's pretty common, yeah.
And then the weight of the box, it does depend on the product that you're selling, obviously. In kilograms, how much would that be? Should we
So
take
each box is 25 kilograms.
all right, so let's go with 25 kilograms for now. So it already does all the calculations for you on what the total shipment is. And all you would do is hit next step. Now, Amazon FBA packing requirements. Now, who is labeling your products? It's going to be your supplier. So you always ask your supplier to label the products because of the logo and everything else that we were going to put on there, and the shipping label, which Amazon will provide you when you create a shipping plan with them. And that's also very simple to do. And then who is placing your boxes on pallets? Make sure you get your supplier, and this is a standard thing that suppliers will do for you for free at no extra cost. So don't let them charge you anymore. You make sure that your supplier puts them on those boxes on pallets. They put them on pallets so when they're actually picking up the products, putting it into the truck, and then from the truck it goes to the ship, and then it comes off and it goes onto another truck, and then possibly another truck, then another distribution center, and whatever they do. It just needs to be on pallets for them to be able to move this shipment around easily. So make sure your supplier
Even if
does
it's
that.
like 20 boxes you're sending and it's not a full pallet, still it needs to be on the pallet because of the speed that they could pick it up. Nobody's going to take box by box, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's going to sit there and do it. And they have machines that will, what are they called? Forklift trucks. So they
Right.
have all these forklift trucks and all these things to help them do all of that stuff. So origin means where is it actually coming from? So you want to get either the address of the supplier, which is the factory warehouse, or if your supplier is actually sending it to the Chinese shipping port, you would be using FOB, which is free on board, or
That's
freight
what I
on board.
use.
Some people, yeah.
Do you use that too? Like the price of my
I
items includes that?
Yeah, I use a bit of both. In all honesty, I use the factory now because I've built such a nice relationship with my suppliers. I'd rather that, I don't want my suppliers to worry about shipping or taking it anywhere. I just want them to worry about making my product and getting it right. That's all I want them to do, basically.
Yeah,
That's
because
kind of
mine is not too far from the port, is in Guangzhou, and Guangzhou has a port of their own, so
yeah.
it's pretty close for them to ship it, and then my prices include the shipping.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you could go with FOB, and that does make it very easy. And I would recommend for beginners as well, go with FOB, which is the supplier will send your product to the Chinese shipping port. So let's say, obviously, it's in China, and
so Guangzhou.
why isn't this come up? Yeah. So how do you spell that?
The third one, I think. No, that's the
No, that's
airport.
the airport. So GUA. There we go. So you'd see two logos over here. There's one the airport and there's one the shipping port. And you want to always select the shipping port. When you're first starting out, you want to do it by sea because it's much cheaper. So you don't actually know when the goods are going to be ready. So you can click don't know yet. But I like to actually just estimate that it takes around a month once I've ordered the product to have this stuff ready. So let's say it's the 11th today. Let's say, I don't know, let's put the end of November, for instance. Might be a little bit expensive because it's peak season. So
Yeah, but peak is gonna be, it's not gonna end by the time Christmas in the United States come.
yeah,
Actually, there's the Chinese New Year after that. So the peak season is before the Chinese New Year in the beginning of January, and then right after the Chinese New Year in the beginning of February. So the peak is so long in that time frame that it's pretty important to order
yeah,
earlier, I
yeah,
think.
it is. It definitely is. Yeah, don't worry about like the date. I'll just say just put an estimated date in there just so you can get an idea of the price. That's what we're trying to do here, get an idea of the price so we know how much it actually costs to ship this product. So we know we want to go ahead with this as well. So you would pick your warehouse that you're going to send this to, and Amazon will tell you which warehouse it's going to, and there'll be a code, a hashtag.
Mine is California most of the time.
Was it?
In
Yeah, mine's
California.
in Cali as well.
Yeah,
Mine's usually,
I don't remember which
this
one.
is mine,
29,
ONT8.
I've seen that. 29, I've seen that. San Bernardino, I remember.
Mine's
Yeah,
usually ONT8, and I'm really happy about that. It's the
I guess
shortest
depends on the
distance.
category. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I've got a super cool technique that I teach my students on how to actually get ONT8 every single time.
Oh, really? And that's right next to the port, right?
It's
Next to the,
right next to the port, so it's just much,
oh,
it's just
that's
that much
awesome.
cheaper. All right, so then we know where it's going. We hit the next button. Now here's a slightly complicated part, but once I show you this, it will feel really easy and simple. So here's all the customs stuff. So what does customs mean is every time a product comes into any country, let's take USA, for example, the products that come in are checked by customs, and it needs to clear the customs team to ensure that the right taxes are paid. Also, the stuff like there's no drugs coming into the country and that you're not shipping any dodgy stuff, basically. So they have to do all of their checks. There's a lot more checks than that. I'm obviously not a customs clearance officer, so I don't know all of them. But you don't need to know all of them. You just need to know that somebody else is taking care of it for you. So you do want to add customs brokerage, so you want somebody else to take care of you. And you only have one commodity, which is one type of product, because you're only shipping in one type of product. So
Yep.
that's that done. Do you need a customs bond? So anything that's going into USA from any other country requires this. So you would select yes. And this will come up. So when you do a customs bond, there is a number of different options that you have. The only one you need to be concerned about at this time when you're first starting out is this single one over here. So this is only valid for one import. And
The other one is 1 year. It's the one I got, the 1 year one.
You
So
got the
if you're
1 year one?
sending more, yeah, if you're sending more than like 2 or 3 shipments a year, then you
Yeah.
will want to consider that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you're first trying this out and you're first starting out, get this. So let's say, for example, the total amount of products you bought is, I don't know, $3,000. Let's call it £2,000, right?
Okay.
So you're now only spending 40 plus 60 pounds, which is about 120 to $50 or something like that. My calculations are so off, but but you'd select this
That's
option.
pretty good price on the cost, yeah.
So you'd select that option and it only costs you that much. So you need to make sure that you read all of this information so you start to understand and get clued up about what this actually is. But all you need to know for now is that all of this stuff is required and you do need to do it. But when you're doing this, putting all of this information in, it means that you have to do less work later down the line, and your shipping company, your freight forwarder, will take care of all of this stuff for you. So then there's some additional details that you need to put in. Is it a hazardous shipment? It shouldn't be based on the criteria that we've used. Is it a personal shipment? It's not. are you a known shipper? You can also hover over these if you don't know what known shipper is. But most of the time, you are going to be a foreign importer because it's coming in from another country. And you can read this information here if you wish. The other thing is you want to also add additional services, which is the insurance. So this will cover the goods value of your product. Now, you might want to check the details of the insurance if you wish, for the specific shipping company that you use. And you can check that at a later date, but they're generally pretty standard. But you do want to make sure that your products are covered by some level of insurance.
So just a minute, I have something to say.
Yeah.
So many people may think like, why do I even need insurance? So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna switch to my screen real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll show you this awesome. So, okay, I wrote this article about how I was trying to ship, and look what happens when this didn't happen to me, but here's why you need insurance.
Whoa.
This can happen, and it could burn, it could flip, it could whatever. You need insurance because you spent all your hard-earned money, you know, and then it's all gonna be boo and gone. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary. Are you just trying to scare people off now?
No, but I've been investigated. Why do I need insurance? I was thinking before, I don't care about insurance. It's just extra cost to me. Actually, you need insurance, you know, definitely.
It's all right. So you need insurance. So click the search and book button, and all the prices will come up just like a price comparison website. So you will have quotes coming up from loads of different companies. And don't worry, Freightos is involved. So this company that we're using is involved in the booking process as well. So they will support you the whole way. If you have any questions, you can give them a call as well. So there's a customer support number. And they are very, very, very good at what they do. I use them hundreds of times. So
I'm just gonna say, me too. I used Freightos in the beginning,
mm-hmm.
and they actually show you like the tracking. You know, there's this article I wrote how I was shipping with Freightos, and basically they give you nice tracking. You know where it's gonna go, like when you're gonna get it hand over, when it's gonna arrive to port, like, and they actually send you emails when it actually arrived, and you know it's like customs are released, and it's pretty awesome. You know, I really like this service as well.
So where is all this information? So this is on your site, right?
This is on shopkeeper.com on the blog. Yeah, I just wrote an article like in detail how to deal with every step of the way with shipping.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's good for beginners. Maybe it's too much detail because you want hands-off type of thing. But once you get into the business like full-time, then you may be interested to read it.
Yeah. Well, if you want to check it out, go to shopkeeper.com. There's the information should be there in the blog section, right?
That's right.
Cool. All right. So here's all of the information. I usually order it by cheapest because I just want the lowest price.
That's right.
One quick tip that I would definitely say when you are selecting one of these guys is please do check the reviews. It's just like when you're buying products on Amazon. Check the reviews because they are taking control of your shipment, your products, your business at this stage. So you want to make sure that there's a decent amount of reviews. So have a look at some of these reviews. Just so you know, in fact, I solely use eBay now as the one that I just love them. The service is amazing. They are really awesome. And as you can see, look, they've just got 5 stars and they got 352 reviews. It can't be beat. And they are the cheapest as well. So just a quick tip if you wanted to know how you go about selecting the right person, because I have selected somebody with 4 stars before, and those 4 stars really showed when I was actually shipping my product. So when you're looking at this, you can see that there's a price over here. That's how much it's going to cost to ship. It also tells you the port-to-port transit time and the overall time it's going to take to get there. Now, I've just clicked on this button over here, which shows you the price breakdown. If you really wanted to start to understand where this price is actually coming from, you can see the breakdown code. You can see the breakdown over here on what they're charging, why they're charging, and how they charge. So sometimes, like I mentioned, And the whole reason why we were looking at size and weight and stuff is they look at cubic meters as well. So they charge per the cubic meter, and sometimes they also charge by weight as well, depending on who you go with. So here's all the fees. If you wanted a breakdown of that, you can go and check all of that information there. And it will be, you should be getting these quotes. If you're in the US, you should be getting these quotes in dollars. And if you're in another country, you should be getting it in the relative currency. So that's as easy as it is. And you literally just select the one that you want to go with, and you put in the details, and you move ahead and you go with it. And that's all my details. I'm gonna have to block that out. So you go ahead, and if you want to save some of these quotes, you can save them here as well for a later date. And I would strongly advise that you do that, so you use, so you can come back to these and use them in the real life situation when you actually are going to book some of this. So is that pretty clear, Paulina?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty easy. And I also go with the cheapest. By now I have favorites that I work with. So I just sort of sometimes take not the cheapest just to work with the same one that I worked before. So it works like this. Plus, each of them have a little bit of different fees when it arrives. Even though Freightos guarantees that this is all-inclusive fee and there will be no extra charges, sometimes they are, some of them are still charging a little bit extra of something like warehousing at the arrival port for an extra day or something like that.
Yeah.
So, just tell Freightos, they're trying to charge me, so you told me that I won't pay anything else, and they basically will avoid that fee for you.
Yeah. So Freightos they're really good like that, and they've helped me out a number of times with little silly issues that I always come up with. There's always something, but when you start working with the same person, same supplier all the time, it gets really easy, and you barely have to send them any information. They know what you want, and they just sort it all out for you. So we've gone through a number of different things. So we've gone through all of the goals, the setting up the Amazon account, the making sure you find a profitable product, finding the suppliers, private labeling the product as well, creating the listing, how you can actually ship the product as well. So what happens next? When you actually got your product in stock and you're starting to sell on Amazon, you need to set up your PPC account. You need to start marketing as well. And it'll be as little as, and I'm not going to go into masses of detail here because if you're at this stage, by the way, you're probably watching other videos to try and help you, to support you to build the marketing campaign to start selling your product. But you need as little as $10 a day to get yourself started. And I've managed to get products ranked to first page with as just $10 a day. I've spent more on others, I've spent less on some, and $10 a day is all you need to get started and start making some sales. So like we said, you can make $2,000 in profit a month, you can make $3,000 in profit a month to start off with. And then you want to grow your business, right? You want to make sure that you grow it as much as you can so you can achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. And it's really important that you have those goals, because in 2 years' time, you will hit those goals. In 5 years' time, you will hit that goal. But like I said, we've just shown you so many practical ways about doing this. And I want to give you another quick tip before we finish off this video as well. But we've shown you so many ways of actually doing this. This should be one of the most practical videos you've ever seen in your life to actually get started. And like I said, 99% of you will not do this.
Yeah, definitely. It's just so sad.
Yeah, it is sad that 99% of this, but it's also a good thing, because Pauline, people like you and me and anyone else who actually takes action will start to benefit. There's people out there saying, oh, I wish I started this 5 years ago, I'm too late. Well, in 5 years' time, you're going to be saying the exact same thing to yourself.
That's right. Just do it. Just do it already. That's the thing, right? Take the leap of faith and just do it. Just copy everything we did today. When you see those 20 products that you see good on Jungle Scout with those parameters, just pick one and just go through the process. Don't order a lot of units right away, and then you are already ahead of everyone else who's still stuck on creating their brand name or something like that, you know?
Their logo or their title.
Right.
So the super tip that I wanted to give everybody, and this goes for almost any business, I think, you need to be able to, when you're looking at starting a business or selling a product, the number one thing you need to look at is, are you solving somebody's problem? The more people's problem you solve, and the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you will actually make. So make sure you're solving the problem. And that's why we went through those reviews to see what are people complaining about? What problem are we going to solve? Solve people's problems, and I pretty much guarantee that you will make money in some shape or form. So that's the biggest tip that I wanted to give. And if anybody wants those rules or how you go about starting out on Amazon, I do have that ebook. Hopefully there's a link somewhere. And I'm sure Paulina has tons of links and useful resources on her website as well. So head over to shopkeeper.com. And guys, this information is free. Paulina is here giving all of this information and those blogs as well for free. She's not charging you anything.
Yeah.
And it's all coming for free, guys. I can't say it enough. So if you are looking to start and you are that 1% who is looking to actually start, make sure you use all of these resources. Head over to Paulina's channel on YouTube, which is shopkeeper.com Amazon. Otherwise you end up finding some other random dude in India, I think, right?
Yeah, you can put Shopkeeper channel and then look for my pretty face.
Yeah.
And you all know it's me right there.
And then if you want to find me, you can find me on my channel, VicJC, and there'll be tons of links there. And Paulina's also got tons of useful links in her videos as well. So
Right.
I think that's all for today, right?
I think so. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
It's been a long journey, but it feels like long, but actually it's like so short when you think about it. This whole thing that we just did takes people 6 or 8 months to go through, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and we just did it in such a short time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it does. And it does take a lot of people, at least 6 months. So this is free information. Take it, run with it, do whatever you want with it, share it if you want to, or you can write us some comments and let us know what you're thinking. Any questions that you have, me and Paulina are always hanging around. So any questions you have, just ask us, and hopefully we'll know the answer to those.
Yeah. So if you liked it, click like. And if you loved it, click subscribe.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.